Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 3rd December 2020. So before starting the lecture, let me tell you that many of the students may be joining in the recent times in this video lectures, and therefore let me tell you that the PDF that we are discussing here, that has been attached in the description, the link is given. So you can download that PDF and take it as a study material for your further studies and revisions. So that you can keep following up. So yes, let us see which are the articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. So these are the articles for mains purpose and for prelim purpose. One by one we'll see and take input for our examination. So first article on page number 7, op-ed page. So today's op-ed page articles are very good. So let us try to take input for our examination. So this is the article that is written by M.R. Madhavan, who is the president of PRS Legislative Research. So for polity and governance purpose, we generally refer to PRS website. So wherein the analysis of bills, laws and acts is given. So that for that purpose we generally refer to that website. So the president of that website, or that, let's say, non-profit organization, PRS Legislative Research, so he has given a very good article. The article is having context related to the farm laws that has been passed without, let's say, much consultation and deliberation and discussions with the stakeholders involved here. And the article is giving a very good example of how GST law was brought and passed with the stakeholder consultations and deliberations, and the implementation, how it has been very successful because of that, and how against this the present farm bills, how the ordinance was let's say promulgated, and then the bill was passed in the parliament without any let's say reference to select committee or parliamentary committee, standing committee. So that's why this has been criticized, and the stakeholders like farmers and their representatives or the state governments, they have not, let's say, been consulted for that purpose. So that's why we can say that the article is talking from polity and governance perspective, especially it is having context related to federalism. Okay, and the parliament being the, let's say, platform or forum for such kind of discussion and deliberation. Okay, so for policy making. So what the article is discussing, let us try to understand the need to have detailed discussions and consultations while making law and policy. Surely we can expect question such kind of, let's say, question in GS2. Okay, topic is very much in news because of many laws, let's say, bypassing scrutiny of the parliament, discussion and deliberations. The process of building consensus and addressing concerns may be the time consuming, but it leads to greater acceptance of policy objectives. This is the important statement, and we will deliberate on this. And while such work has to be done at multiple levels, parliament is perhaps the most important forum for this. Okay, so it has well established process to get inputs of experts and stakeholders and to build cross party consensus while enacting a law. This is usually done through its committees. So it has on its mechanism to bring in the views of various stakeholders, experts for the policy making, and that is generally done by referring the bill to its committees, and committees do such kind of, let's say, work of consultation. The government can also use other consultative mechanisms such as expert committees and consultative groups to get feedback and tailor policy. So what is the importance of these parliamentary committees? They allow MPs to engage with experts and understand the nuances of the bill, enable discussion across the party lines without the pressure of posturing for the public, and several occasions these committees have helped negotiate the path through conflicting interest. And the article is now giving the example of this GST bill and how it was passed by bringing all the stakeholders on one table. So case study of GST, we will briefly try to understand what was the sequence of event. So for that GST purpose, it subsumed several taxes of union list and state list, and therefore the constitution had to be amended for that purpose. This amendment required not just the support of 2/3 members of the each house, that is special majority. Along with that, it also needed ratification by the half of the state legislature. Okay, so special majority, let's say of 2/3 members of the each house of the parliament, and along with that ratification by half of the state legislatures. So that is covered in your polity. ये बेसिक्स है पॉलिटी के. एम लक्ष्मीकांत को रेफर कीजिए, वेरी गुड बुक फॉर पॉलिटी पर्पस. ऑल्सो इट इज गिवन इन एनसीईआरटी 11th स्टैंडर्ड एनसीईआरटी जो है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एट वर्क उसमें भी दिया गया है, राइट. So an empowered group of state finance minister was set up in 2007 and it was key forum for discussing and negotiating the new tax. Okay, importantly, this body was chaired by a state finance minister from the party in opposition at center. So from that we can understand the importance to the opposition was given in negotiation. The standing committee on finance examined the bill, received numerous suggestions from the experts and states and made several recommendations. And now the new bill was introduced in 2015 which incorporated all these changes. The bill also introduced a tax of 1% interstate sale and compensation for a period of up to 5 years to the states. Now Lok Sabha passed the bill, however Rajya Sabha referred it to the select committee and select committee suggested various recommendations, let's say inputs to this bill, and the constitution bill was passed with these changes and ratified by states subsequently. Okay, so this is the sequence of events in the GST bill or enactment of GST law, and that enactment or that process suggests that the government had rightly followed the discussion and consultations with its stakeholders. And now we can understand a GST is we can say the implementation is very much streamlined. What happened with the farm bills that are recently passed? जो 3 farm bills है, the bills were initially enacted through ordinances. यहाँ पे problem है, and because of that we can say this was the executive decision and parliament was not in session. The bills to replace the ordinance were introduced in Lok Sabha and passed within 3 days without being referred to the standing committee. And along with that, in Rajya Sabha, several members moved motion to refer them to the select committee. These motions led to commotion amidst the allegations that demand for division recorded vote was ignored and the bills were passed amidst the pandemonium. तो यहाँ पे हमें दिखाई दे रहा है that in both the houses the bills were passed in haste and at the same time without any much discussion and deliberation and without referring that bill to the standing committee or select committee. Analysis of this suggests that while the jurisdiction of parliament is to enact these laws seems to be clear, they affect agriculture markets which are governed by state laws. So that's why state is important, let's say, stakeholder here. Much of the implementation would depend on the state government. State may get lower taxes from these markets जो सेंट्रल लॉ के हिसाब से एस्टेब्लिश होंगे बाय प्राइवेट सेक्टर. So that's why states are important stakeholder here along with farmers. Okay, so what should be the way forward? Stable policy making needs broad agreement on the benefits of the policies. Such consensus has to be built through conversation with the stakeholders. This is the basic foundation of any, let's say, policy making at the national level. Parliament should revitalize its committees to enable wider public participation. It should insist that every bill is deliberated upon in a committee, much like what the British Parliament does. So British Parliament में largely हर एक bill जो है वो committee level पे discussion होता है. In conclusion, as the adage goes, politics is the art of the possible, the attainable, and the art of next best. So the politics, if the politicians decide if the government decides, they can do these things and therefore they should do. So such kind of, let's say, question we can expect, statement based. The process of building consensus and addressing concerns may be time consuming, but it leads to greater acceptance of policy objectives. Evaluate the statement with the help of examples. So you try to give these contrasting examples of GST law and recently passed farm bills, and this shows how the building consensus and addressing concerns is important in policy making. Fine. So we can expect question from this topic in GS2 this year mains itself. A looming health crisis. So the article is here having context of the growing antimicrobial resistance among the people throughout the world, including India, and therefore it is discussing some reasons for growing antimicrobial reasons, and in the end at national level and international level, what are the, let's say, policy initiatives being taken to address this concern. Okay. So yes, growing antimicrobial resistance, AMR. So antimicrobial resistance is growing at alarming rate. It is given that about 35% of common human infections have become resistant to available medicine. About 7 lakh people die every year because of available antimicrobial drugs. Okay, have become less effective at combating pathogens. Okay, in India, the largest consumer of antibiotics in the world. This is serious problem. According to the study published in Lancet, an estimated 58,000 newborn children die annually from sepsis in India alone, because antibiotics can no longer treat certain bacterial infection. So you can quote this study here, you can give the reference to this study in your answer. Misuse and overuse of antimicrobials for human, livestock and agriculture. Remember this 3 points. Misuse and overuse for humans, livestock and agriculture is probably the biggest reason for this, but other factors also contribute. Research points to the role of environment and pollution in antimicrobial resistance. Why? Because once consumed, about up to 80% of antibiotic drug is excreted unmetabolized along with the resistant bacteria. Okay, they release in the effluents from the household and health pharmaceutical facilities and the agriculture runoff, and is propagating these resistant microorganisms in the wastewater. Now, wastewater treatment facilities are unable to remove all these antibiotics. Especially in India, there is capacity to treat this wastewater is only up to 37% sewage generated annually, and rest is discharged to the natural water bodies without treatment. And this is how the water may be the major mode of spread of this antimicrobial resistance. Okay, so you have to understand that this water pollution is also causing the problem of AMR. What are the international initiatives being taken? United Nations Environment Programme UNEP identified AMR as one of the 6 emerging issues of environment concern in its 2017 Frontiers report. UN agencies are working together to develop One Health AMR Global Action Plan GAP that addresses the issue in human, animal and plant health and the food and environmental sector. So One Health मतलब क्या होता है कि जिसमें human health के साथ में animal health, plant health and environmental pollution and all these things are considered in, let's say, simultaneously in sync with each other, and therefore it is called as One Health now. Okay. So at national level, it is particularly important to promote measures that address known hotspots such as hospitals, manufacturing and waste treatment facilities. In early 2020, the Ministry of Environment has issued a draft standards which set limit for residues of 121 antibiotics in treated effluents from drug production units. Okay. So these standards await finalization, but this should be finalized as early as possible. In July this year, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Ministry of Environment constituted Inter-Ministerial Steering Committee on Environment and Health with representation from WHO and UNEP, and this will surely deliberate on this AMR issue. Now, AMR हमारे एग्जाम के लिए क्यों इम्पॉर्टेंट है? बिकॉज सी इन 2014 मेंस एग्जामिनेशन GS3 पेपर such kind of question was asked. Can overuse and availability of antibiotics without doctor's prescription the contributors to the emergence of drug resistant diseases in India? This is what we were talking about, the reasons overuse and misuse. The overuse and availability of antibiotic, that is misuse. ठीक है, तो ये होता है, जैसे हम लिखते हैं कि ड्रग रेजिस्टेंस टीबी, ठीक है, तो MDR टीबी, मल्टी ड्रग रेजिस्टेंस टीबी, ये न्यूज में रहता है काफी. And this is one of the, let's say, disease that the bacteria which has been becoming resistant to these drugs, antibiotics, and therefore the new variants of TB are, let's say, we are witnessing in recent times multi-drug resistance TB, and then we have XDR now beyond this MDR TB. Okay, XDR means extremely drug resistance TB. तो ये भी जो है हम देख रहे हैं कि जितना हम एंटीबायोटिक्स मिसयूज और ओवरयूज कर रहे हैं, इस तरीके से हम अलग अलग डिसीजेस का रेजिस्टेंट कर रहे हैं बैक्टीरियाज को. What are the available mechanisms for monitoring and control? Critically discuss the various issues involved. This was the question in 2014. So all these issues should be discussed and try to provide some of the, let's say, reasons that we here discussed about. And along with this mains question, last year in 2019, this question was asked in prelims examination. Now those students who are generally aware about the basics of antimicrobial resistance, they should have attempted this question correctly. Which of the following are the reasons for occurrence of multi-drug resistance in microbial pathogens in India? Okay, so अभी हमने देखा कि the incorrect doses of antibiotics to cure diseases, this is the one reason, and using antibiotics in livestock farming, ये भी हमने देखा अभी. ठीक है, अब अगर 2 और 3 अगर सही है तो यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं कि 4, तो इसमें 2 नहीं है, सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज नॉट द आंसर. और 3 किस में नहीं है, ए में नहीं है, तो ये आंसर नहीं है. अब होता है बी और डी में कंफ्यूजन. यहाँ पे 2 and 3 ओनली, 2, 3, 4 ओनली, यानी कि 4 को 1 तो है ही नहीं इसके हिसाब से अभी. ओके, सो जेनेटिक प्रीडिस्पोजिशन ऑफ सम पीपल, दिस इज नॉट द रीजन. मल्टीपल क्रोनिक डिसीजेस इन सम पीपल, so this is the one of the reason. Why? Because some of the studies have found that those who are having HIV infections, multiple chronic diseases, जैसे हम इसका example दे सकते हैं HIV. This HIV infection in one person, this has led to let's say such kind of person can contract with the TB, that bacteria, and this patient of TB will surely have very, let's say, chronic level of that disease, and therefore to treat that disease somehow a higher level of antibiotics are needed because that bacteria has some kind of drug resistance developed in that person. Okay, so this is how you need to approach in those questions in science and technology section of your UPSC prelims examination also. Elimination and some logic also. ठीक है, तो ये आपको पता है कि ओवर यूज और इनकरेक्ट मिसयूज हो रहा है, एंड कौन से ह्यूमन हेल्थ में, लाइफ स्टॉक में, एग्रीकल्चर. फाइन, ओके. नेक्स्ट, ग्लोबल अलर्ट ऑन वैक्सीन फ्रॉड्स. सो इंटरपोल हैज गिवन a global alert to all the law enforcement agencies of its 194 members to take, let's say, prepare for targeting of COVID-19 vaccines both physically and online by organized crime networks throughout the world. Okay, so as the number of COVID-19 vaccines come closer to approval, global distribution, ensuring the safety of supply chains, and identified illicit websites selling fake products will be essential. The need for coordination between law enforcement agencies and health regulatory bodies also play a vital role to ensure safety of individuals, well-being of communities are protected. At the same time, with cases of COVID-19 related frauds increasing, the agency is advising people to take special care when going online to search for medicine or medical equipment and medicine. So online frauds, organized crimes are now targeting towards the new vaccines developed or approved vaccines and their supply chains. So ये अभी एक नया टाइप का हम बोल सकते हैं थ्रेट कंसर्न आ रहा है throughout the world, and it will be in India also. So that's why Interpol issued that advisory here. Okay. Next, Britain approves Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. One of the important development in vaccine regulatory approvals and distribution now. So Britain approved this Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine on, let's say, 2nd December, and this has, let's say, begin with the most crucial mass inoculation program in the history with the shot tested in a wide scale clinical trial. तो ये जो अर्ली रिजल्ट्स उन्होंने दिए थे 95% इफेक्टिव बोला था Pfizer वैक्सीन, एंड इट विल इंपोर्ट दैट Pfizer वैक्सीन्स फ्रॉम द बेल्जियम. ओके, यस. Along with that, Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of UK, he has been invited by India on the this year's Republic Day celebration 2021. Okay, so the decision on this is awaited from the London. ठीक है, तो उनको चीफ गेस्ट बोल के इनवाइट किया है. The present government is following this policy of inviting the important, let's say, countries heads of the government on as a chief guest on Republic Day. So ये इस बार जो है हमने यूके प्राइम मिनिस्टर बोरिस जॉनसन को इनवाइट किया है. फाइन. Yes, earlier also we discussed about this Chang 5 Pro of China, and this probe has landed, touched down near the near side of the moon now, and it began drilling on the surface of the moon, and it is, let's say, ambitious attempt to bring back first lunar samples in the 4 decades. Earlier such kind of activity was done by USA and USSR. Now China will be the third such country to have or land on the landing spacecraft on the surface of the moon and bringing back the samples. ठीक है, तो ये हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया हुआ है लास्ट वीक आई गेस. चैंग 5 स्पेसक्राफ्ट को, तो इसका जो है वो कौन से कंट्री का है एंड पर्पस. ठीक है, टू अंडरस्टैंड द हिस्ट्री ऑफ लेट्स से फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दिस मून, and that will provide the basis for understanding the formation of earth as well as solar system and whole universe. So that's why this is the purpose, and this will bring back the samples from lunar surface. Okay, some important captions and quotation from that article which was relating to federalism, or we can say policy making. So GS2 में अगर क्वेश्चन आता है, that is important, and if there is essay policy making or effective policy formulation and implementation, that should be done through consultation, wide scale consultation and deliberation. So this was about that article. You can use these captions, note them down. So all these articles, try to take input for your prelims and mains examination. For further information on ED classes or editorial discussion classes, wherein in-depth analysis of all mains related article, like this one, this article. So the issue was recently discussed by Ansari sir in ED, last ED itself. So such, let's say, to understand and know about that program of Lukman IAS, you can contact Lukman IAS office. Thank you.